Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for y'all to be here today. I had a lot of fun making this look and I'm really excited to share it with you guys. Please excuse my eyebrows and my left eye because my left eye is throwing a fit and it is watering like mad, so I do apologize for that throughout the video. I am using the new Urban Decay, the new Urban Decay Nocturnal Shadow Box palette. I really like this palette a lot and I love Urban Decay eyeshadows, and I think this palette is really nice. It's very versatile. You could do a lot with it. And so I used this palette to create this look on my eyes that you see now. I know that this is kind of on the bold side, and I feel like I do a lot of looks that are kind of on the bold side, but it's who I am, and it's what I like, and it's what I do. So if you don't like that, sorry. All right, so without any further ado, we're gonna hop on into this video. So I have this lid already primed and prepped and set. I used the Urban Decay Primer Potion in the shade Enigma as per usual. And then I set it down with the shade called ABC Gum in the palette, which is this lightest shade over here. And I already did the majority of this eye, but I had to step away from it because I don't know if you can tell, it just will not stop watering right here. So I just had to give up on it and I decided to just go ahead and move on to this eye. So for my crease color, I'm going to start with the shade Riff right here in the palette, which is just like a nice light, warm, caramely color, and it has little flecks of glitter, but that doesn't really transfer on the face. And I'm going on this Earth Therapeutics brush. I have no idea where I got this or where you can get this, but it's just a fluffy crease brush, standard, and I'm gonna start blending that into my crease. I'm gonna bring that all the way into my inner corner just to set a base for the halo eye. And I'm trying to leave the center space pretty blank so that we can go in with the purple. And on this Crown Pro C513 brush, I'm going to take the shade Delete, which is a deep dark brown. And I'm going to start putting that on the outer and inner corners of my eyes and then very lightly connect it in the middle. And then going back and forth on the two brushes and the two shades that we've used so far, I'm just gonna make sure that that looks all nice, blended, and seamless. And then on this Luxie 237 brush, it's a very small blending brush. I'm gonna dip back into the shade Riff and blend that out even more. And then I'm just going to take a makeup wipe and clean up this outer corner. And then I'm going to take the primer potion again and just ever so lightly add a little bit of that to the middle and then blend that out with my finger to set a base for the purple. And then using the brush that came with the palette, it's just a double-sided brush. On this end, I'm going to dip into the purple shade, which is called Backfire, and pack that onto the center. And then I'm gonna go back in on that tiny crown brush and not adding any additional product to the brush. I'm just gonna blend out those edges. And now I'm going to attempt to put eyeliner on both of my eyes. I don't know how this side is going to do because it will not stop watering. This side is doing great, but I'm going to try to put some eyeliner on, and yeah. I'm using the Kat Von D tattoo liner in the shade Trooper. So that is the first half of the eye done, and now I'm going to move on to my face. So for the face, I'm going to actually be trying out a couple of new things and a couple of old things that I've had for a while that I just never really use because I use other products more, but I'm in the mood to just give them another try. So before I started my eye makeup, I actually sprayed my entire face with this First Aid Beauty Vital Greens Face Mist. And then for a primer, I'm going to go in with the NYX Angel Veil Primer. So for my foundation today, I'm going to be going in with the Urban Decay Naked Skin One and Done. And I've had this for almost a year now, and I used to use it a lot, but then I got the IT Cosmetics CC Cream, and I just fell completely in love with that one, and I just use it so much more than I do with this one. So I wanted to give this one another try just to see how I like it now. Then using this Eco Tools little flat synthetic brush, I'm going to use that to apply the foundation to my face. And then I'm going to take this Morphe G36 brush, it's part of their Gunmetal collection, and I'm going to use that to buff it into the skin. And I don't think I like this being applied with a brush, so I'm going to go in with my damp beauty blender and blend it out some more. Okay, so I don't really feel any particular way towards this stuff. I think I like my IT Cosmetics CC Cream so much more. I like the finish. It's like, I would call it a satin to almost dewy finish, because it's not completely dewy, but it's not completely matte, but I wouldn't call it full-on satin either. It's more on the dewier side. For concealer, I'm going to go in with this Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer, and I've tried this, not like with a full face of makeup, but I've tried this on its own before. Just like when I bought it, I was just testing it out, playing around with it. My initial thoughts on it were that it was way too thick, way too drying, but I'm gonna try it with a full face of makeup and see what it does. Okay, and to set my face, I'm going to go in with this Wet n Wild Photo Focus Pressed Powder. This is in the shade Neutral Buff, and similarly to the concealer, I've tried this just kind of playing with it, not doing a full face of makeup, just kind of like, oh, let me throw some foundation on my face and just see how it sets it. Let me just throw some concealer on my face, see how it sets it. And I've used several different brushes for this powder, and I feel like you can't really use like a really light, fluffy brush like most powders. I have to use this flat, dense brush. This is a brush that I got off of Amazon. But those lighter, less dense brushes just don't seem to pick up the product for this. So I use a denser brush, and it works really nicely. And I stipple it in more than just like brushing it in. So I attempted to finish up this eye, and I'm sure you can see, like, this outer corner is just having a rough day. I tried to put eyeliner on, and my eye just was not having it, so I gave up on that eye. But this eye's still doing pretty good, so we're gonna work on this one. So I'm going to take the ColourPop eyeliner in the color Swerve, and I'm going to tightline and waterline my eye with this. So this just isn't as pigmented as I would like it to be, so I'm going to go in with my Urban Decay 24/7 Waterline Pencil in the shade Legend. And on this Eco Tools dual-ended brush, I'm going to take this little smudger end, and I'm going to go into the shade called Lounge in the palette. It's that beetle red green that you saw probably a lot last year, similar to the one that's in the Manny palette. And I'm just gonna take that and smudge it onto the bottom lash line. And then taking the creased end of that same brush, I'm just gonna blend it out. And then on this super tiny flat synthetic Eco Tools brush, I'm going to go into the shade Baby. It's just like a light pink, and I'll put that in my inner corner. Just for fun, I'm gonna take the shade Fireball, which is a kind of iridescent purpley pink, and I'm going to go in on this Royal & Langnickel BOM 18 detail brush. I'm going to put that directly in the center of the lower lash line. And then for mascara, I'm going to go in with an oldie but a goodie. This used to be my favorite mascara, and then I just started using the Benefit Roller Lash and never turned back. But I'm gonna go in with the Smashbox Full Exposure Mascara. Now, if you don't like big wands, you're gonna hate this mascara because it's freaking huge. Like, it's the size of my eye, and if you don't like big wands, you are completely going to hate this. I like the volumizing effect that it gives, and I'm gonna use that. And then for the lower lash line, and then I'm gonna highlight my brow bone with the shade Baby. And that's it for the eyes. Okay, and then for contour slash bronzer, I'm gonna go in with this Wet n Wild Color Icon bronzer. This one is in the shade Ticket to Brazil. This is really, really light. It almost doesn't show up on my skin, and I'm fairly pale, but I'm not super, super pale. So I like to use a very concentrated small brush for it. This is the Morphe M52, and I just swirl that around, and I really concentrate it, kind of contour with it, and then kind of blow it out to make it look like a bronzer. And then for blush, this is actually the first product that I have ever owned by this brand, and I tried it once and I really, really, really liked it. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush in the shade Mood Exposure. It's a very, very neutral blush, and I'm not super, super big on bold pink blushes just because I just feel like, I don't know if I just don't know how to work with them or they just don't work with me. But I do like more natural blushes, and I love mauve blushes, and so this is kind of like the perfect baby between the two. And I'm gonna go in on this e.l.f. powder brush. This is definitely not one of those blushes that you can go too heavy with because it is such a natural blush. So you can basically just keep applying it and keep applying it and keep applying it, and it's great, and you'll never have too much. I feel like this is the only highlight that I like ever use, but I've gotten two of these in my BoxyCharms, and I've talked about it on my channel before. This is the Vintage by Jessica something. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the last name because I can't. I find these very comparable to like Anastasia. They're very, very smooth, very pigmented. They don't have a ton of glitter. They are definitely more of a shimmery highlight, and you can definitely build these up to blinding, or you can keep them kind of on the down low. And I'm gonna go in on this Real Techniques setting brush. I'm going to go in on this shade right here, which is called Rose Quartz. Hello everyone, this is my dog. One of my dogs. This is Bella. Hi Bella. She keeps coming in and checking on me, so I figured I'd give her a little feature. This is little Bella. She's so tiny and she's so feisty and she thinks that she can kill you, but she can't because she's scared. Boof, a boof, boof, a boof, boof, boof. Also, I just want to take a second to say forgive my eyebrows. I'm trying to grow them out so I can reshape them, and I just haven't really touched them like at all in like 2 months, so just kind of forgive me. Okay, and last but not least, we're gonna go in with some lips. I know a lot of people aren't a big fan of this, but I love bold eyes with bold lips. I know a lot of people like to do really bold eyes with a super neutral lip, or really neutral eyes with a really bold lip. I like bold on bold. It's who I am. We're going to go in with the Ofra Long Lasting Liquid Lipstick in the shade Napa Valley. And I don't know if you can tell on camera, it's iridescent, metallic-y looking, purple, pink, almost that green beetle hint to it. And I just think it would be perfect for this eye look. Okay guys, and that completes this look. I really hope that y'all had a lot of fun with it. I had a ton of fun, except for this guy over here, this eye that just gave me all of the problems. But I really hope that y'all enjoyed this video. If you were kind of curious about this palette, maybe I finalized your opinion on whether you did or did not want it. This is actually the second shadow box palette that Urban Decay has released. I have the first one. I have no idea where it is. I just spent like 5 minutes looking for it. I've looked all through my vanity. I looked in my mom's room. I've looked all over my room. I have no idea where that palette is, but I do have it somewhere. Anyways, so with the first one, it was a ton of shimmer shades, and the only matte shades were like a black and like maybe a really, really pale shade. So it was kind of hard for me to work with. It was more like an accent color palette. But at least with this one, you do have your pale white setting shade, you have a nice crease shade, and you have your 2 matte black and browns, you have a matte-ish blue. It's kind of a satin blue. So you can really work with this palette, and you can do a neutral look using basically just these 3 colors here and the matte one and any of this top row really. And then you can kind of do some fun stuff with the bottom row. So yeah, that completes this video. I really hope that y'all enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and share, and all that good stuff, and I will see you in the next one.